So the first spray tip I want to show is the high flow spray tip. This spray tip is a not air inducted spray tip. It works well with the exact supply system or any conventional sprayer. It has a 140 degree wide spray pattern and is great for your high rate fertilizer application. It is not on any of the dicamba labels, but it does produce a very large droplet. The smallest size we make, or the smallest size we offer for the high flow spray tip is an 08, and we go all the way up to a 60. This is a good spray tip for those of you that are looking for a great tip to apply large rate fertilizer. One other benefit of the super wide 140 degree spray pattern is the ability to do, as I've done on the spray table here, run wider spray nozzle body width. So to save a little money, the operator could simply buy a larger tip and shut every other nozzle body off, just to save them a little bit of money in their tip purchase and still get great coverage. You will, however, need to run your spray boom a little bit higher. So if you're trying to put nitrogen down in windy applications, that might not be a good alternative, but it's definitely an option. The next spray tip I'd like to talk about is the Low Drift Twin. This twin nozzle or twin outlet spray tip features two low drift nozzles in one body. This is a not air inducted spray tip and allows people who have purchased or operate a pulse width modulation sprayer, such as an Exact Supply, to pick up the increased coverage of a dual fan spray tip out of one single nozzle. This nozzle is available up to size 16, so even for those high rate applications of contact herbicide, you can run a large enough nozzle to get the ground speed you want with great coverage. Since this is a not air inducted nozzle, it can be used pulsing or conventional and will provide you the coverage very similar to the Guardian Air Twin, that is very popular, but in the not air inducted version. The next spray tip I'm going to discuss is the Low Drift Max. The Low Drift Max is a not air inducted 120 degree wide spray tip that was designed specifically for use with the Exact Supply or any pulse width modulation spray system. The not air inducted spray tip that produces large droplets, very similar to that of our ultra low drift spray tips. This is currently on the Ingenia product label and approved for pulsing as well as conventional sprayer operation. It does provide a very wide droplet spectrum when operated throughout its pressure range. The low pressures, 20 to 50 psi range, produces ultra coarse and very coarse droplets, especially with the 06 and 08 sizes. But when those spray nozzles are run up to higher pressure, 70 and above, the droplets become smaller, very similar to any other spray tip, and that will produce finer droplets for increased coverage. This is a great all-around tip, especially for those people who have made the investment in pulse width modulation or PWM sprayer systems. This video features the ultra low drift spray tip. The ultra low drift spray tip is an air inducted 120 degree wide flat fan nozzle that produces a wide range of droplets. At low pressure from 20 to 40 psi, it gives you large droplets for all your dicamba products. But if you run the nozzle up to a higher pressure, 60 to 70 psi for example, the droplets will get smaller and provide great coverage while still reducing the chance of drift. As I mentioned earlier, this is a 120 degree wide spray tip that also features a very thick pattern when it hits the ground. That helps aid in providing great coverage as well. This tip is not recommended for using with the pulsing feature of the Exact Supply sprayer, but it will work when you run in conventional or AB auto select mode. This tip is on all 6 of the dicamba product labels, so it has received approval. There are pressure limits to what it can be run at to ensure the droplets stay in that ultra coarse or extremely coarse range. This is one of the most popular spray tips that John Deere sells because of its versatility and its wide range of applications. This spray tip is the Ultra Low Drift Max. This is one of the newest tips offered by John Deere, and it features a 130 degree wide spray pattern in an air inducted spray tip. This spray tip will produce ultra coarse and extremely coarse droplets throughout its entire pressure range. I'm showing 2 different sizes here, but recently multiple sizes 03, 04, 05, and 06 spray tips were approved on XtendiMax insecticide herbicide. The 130 degree wide pattern produces very good coverage, especially at the low boom heights required by those chemistries. But to achieve that wide spray pattern, this tip must be run at a minimum pressure of 30 psi. If you get much below 30 psi, the spray pattern can start to collapse and degrade. But the nice thing about this spray tip is you can operate at a minimum of 30 psi all the way up to very high pressures, 50, 60 psi and higher in some cases, and still stay on many of the chemical labels. Always consult your herbicide label for specific pressure and spray tip requirements. This tip is on the Ingenia, the XtendiMax, and the Fexapan labels currently, with hopes of achieving more label approvals in the very near future. This video is of the 3D spray tip. This spray tip is a 100 degree wide, flat fan, not air inducted spray tip. Its primary application would be for chemistries requiring great coverage. This tip, since it is not air inducted, will produce relatively small droplets throughout its pressure range. But when operated at very low pressures, can generate larger droplets to help with drift concerns. As you can see, this tip sprays at about a 30 degree spray angle. And depending on how it is oriented on the spray boom, you can alternate one forward and the next nozzle pointing rearward to give you the spray pattern of a dual pattern spray tip, such as the Guardian Air Twin, but without having a dual hand tip. The coverage from the spray tip is excellent, The other nice thing about the spray tip is it keeps the spray pattern even at very low pressure. I'm operating the spray tip down at approximately 15 psi right now, and the spray pattern still looks nice and even. When you do take the spray tip up higher pressure, you do run, that is a little over 40 psi, and you do run the potential of having more driftable fine. So ultimately this tip is great for coverage, but if drift is a major concern, this may not be the tip of your choice. It does work with pulse width modulation systems. It also works with conventional sprayers. This spray tip is the 6-stream ESI spray nozzle. This nozzle provides a unique pattern as it has 6 individual streams of fluid that are designed to not coat or completely cover the leaves of an established crop. The primary application for this spray tip is to be used in top dressing liquid fertilizer of nitrogen on top of an already established crop such as wheat or rye or barley, basically any small grain.